Listen, I've known you. I think you were 17 when you first came to me.
I was 17, and it's, man, it's amazing.
It really is. It's a wonderful story, and it's a story of deep passion and deep perseverance, Steph, which is what you've done. You heard me perform at a music store in Quebec City.
Yes, actually, twice, because the first time you came for Musique Richard, and that's the first time I saw you. I think it was the first time in my life I said to myself, that's what I want to do, you know, for a living. I want to be a professional drummer and also do clinics and talk to people about passion. And so it was really amazing. And the second time you came, it was for Musique Gagné Frères, and
All right.
that's when I played. And you said, after your performance, you said, guys, if you want to try my drum set, come on, come on the small stage. And I went, I played, and I think you stopped and you listened to my playing, and
I
then we
did.
talked. And I was looking for something else. You know, I was studying in Quebec, and it was amazing. But I my dream was to go to the United States and study with some masters, and that's we made it happen. But what do you remember from the story?
Well, I remember exactly that. When you came up to play the second time and you played, I saw you had a really good feel and you had a really good understanding of of what of what movement was about. And you had a wonderful, deep musical insight that was beyond your years, even though you were only 17. But if you remember, when you came and said you wanted to study lessons with me, your English was terrible.
Yeah.
And I said, Steph, if you want to learn to understand the subtleties in how I teach, you really have to learn English.
Yes.
Then you went and moved, I think you went and moved to Toronto area.
I spent some time in Toronto, and I was kind of getting ready for lessons with you. So we kept in touch, and I think I was emailing you like every freaking day.
It, I remember those days, yes. And what I loved about it, some people think about that when someone emails you a lot, they go, well, what a difficult, person that is. That I saw that as you had a strong desire you wanted to learn. And that was the beginning journey of what this was all about. Taking that passion and learn. Then you came down and drove down on a bus 12 hours down to Long Island.
Yeah.
We do a full day of lessons and then you'd work yourself back up.
I know, it was crazy, and my father was coming with me. He was driving because I wasn't driving at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, so sometimes I took the bus, and other times, my father was coming with me, and I
And
have great memories from that.
oh, and your parents are just wonderful people. They are musicians also, and they
Yes,
have, and you've carried on the spirit of how they play. They still go out there and play, and that wonderful spirit of learning from your parents musically, you took that on and you did it, and you came down, and we worked on everything. We worked on hand technique, foot technique, independence, music, playing to music, different styles, rock, jazz, Latin, funk, classical. We went to everything in the process, and I was able to in my old studio
yeah,
bring in Jim Chapin.
yes, crazy. Yeah, it was a
How,
great time, and
how great were those memories?
it was amazing. And I remember the moment when you said, "Okay, you're ready for Jim Chapin," and I don't know what was your plan, but at that special time, you said, "You're ready now," and you just called him. You just took the phone and said, "Hey Jim, where are you right now? Can you can you come by?" And he drove like 2.5, I think, hours from, and he got to the studio.
And I think that's what you've always have done from way back in the early days when we started doing the lessons together, and we were together for many, many years. And at that point, then I said, listen, now you got to bring in some new teachers. I wanted to introduce you to some more people. And once you got your control over your playing more, then it was easier to go to other teachers to expand and learn.
And this is so funny because you became my role model. And remember, I'm 17 years old, and your personality is so amazing and
How
full
sad,
of
how
joy.
sad that is. How sad, very
and,
sad.
and I'm like, I want to become a professional drummer, but I'm impressed by your personality and how you speak, and how you teach and everything. So I'm trying to become you. So I was playing exactly like you. I'm not sure if you remember that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I feel like at that time you said, okay, now you need to also study with different teachers, because I
Right, right,
studied with you for 9 years, and
yeah,
Jim Chapin for 4 years every time I
yeah.
was coming down. But I
Yeah.
think you saw that I was becoming a little bit. I was really copying you and doing all the clinics. I was doing the symbols, the things, and smiling the same way.
With this here, so you're practicing, and now we went through many books together in the journey of what we did, and you started to eat up these books like it was nothing. My gosh, you were buying books and going through it. And in the early stages, you really didn't have that many books. Once you started to see the library of drum books that were out there, you became like a sponge and just started sucking this stuff up. It was great to see.
It's your fault. It's your fault. And I remember after, maybe 2 years, after 2 years, you I think I brought like 3 full bags. I had like Sabian bags, actually,
Yeah, I
plastic
remember that.
bags full of books. And it was just crazy coming back home with all the books. And the goal was to not only learn the books for me as a drummer, as a performer, but also to become the best teacher
Right,
possible.
right.
Because if you know a lot of books, if a student come to study with you, okay, now you're building a program, and that's pretty much how I. And you started it with me years ago, and now I have the chance to do the same thing with students.
Steph, what we become are messengers, because how I transferred it to you is what I took from the great masters I learned from Shelly Manne, from Joe Morello, from Jim Chapin, from Papa Joe Jones, sitting down with all these great masters, Max Roach. I took something from them that was a spirit of just excitement and self-expression on this instrument.
Right.
We say art is about expression, music is our language, and drumming is our voice. And so as I passed it on, but what's interesting is now I've had a chance to see some of your students, and some of your students are fantastic players and great students of the art form. And that's now the next generation that you're starting to develop in the course of your life. And when you think about it, understand, Mulder was a rudimental drummer. When he taught Chapin, Chapin was a jazz drummer on drum set.
Right.
Mulder was playing a single drum. So Chapin had to add his own little nuance to adapt this to what he was using it for. And Jim was using it, for jazz. When I started playing some funk and some rock. I then brought it into in the mid 70s. I was putting it into rock, and Jim was excited about that. He goes, "Wow!" He said, "Now that you're playing into rock and in 16th notes, you're starting to use it differently." So I kind of added my own little twist to it. Then, as I showed yourself, and as I showed guys like JoJo and stuff, everybody kind of has a little different. It's still the same fundamental movement, but everyone has a different way, and that's the magic about adding personality into what we do.
Yeah.
Where we're not just producing cookie cutter same process. For 12 hours, you guys would come down. You were coming from Quebec City, coming around
once a month, every month for 9
even
years.
longer to get down and come down. It was hysterical. So when you finally got there, and I was never kind. When you got there, we got right to work.
I know.
No chill out.
Sometimes I was trying to sleep and lay down a little bit, and you were screaming, "Stefan, I got a student here. Come here and play for us." I was like, "Oh my God, really? Right now?"
And that was a part of the journey of this excitement of what we're doing. But that really is true, man. But you really have done that, Steph. You've shown the qualities of hard work. You've shown the qualities of perseverance. You've shown the qualities of dedication. You've the quality of being able to stay focused and be disciplined. Discipline is self-control. You've shown all those qualities, and your life is an example of those qualities in action. There are so many things to talk about, but thanks so much, man. You're doing it. You're the next generation. You're keeping it going. For that, I'm proud of you, man. Keep it happening. Thank you, Sabian. Thank you, everyone that joined us. We'll see you real soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, everybody.